Welcome, all sports fans. I'm Dolph Jackson, one of the hosts of the Come On In Sports Network, a brand new sports network catered to sports heads like yourselves. Here on the Come On In Sports Network, we'll be covering the latest topics and current sporting news from around the world, such as baseball, football, basketball, and more. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, and come on in.
Determined your fate, I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear. You gon' die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-A-I-F-E right in your side. You would never see me coming. You gon' die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-A-I-F-E right in your side.
NFL Nation, how you doing? Come on in. I'm Dolph Jackson, and this is the Come On In Sports Network, and we'd like to welcome everybody to As the NFL Turns. Tonight is self-explanatory, baby. We going to the black and blue division. We talking NFC North football. Right now, the kings of the NFC North, the kings of the jungle, are the Detroit Lions. But with the offseason moves that the guys in Chi-Town are making, the Windy City, baby, could things be changing? Again, I'm Dolph Jackson. This is As the NFL Turns. Next to me, you see him there, the guy with the hat on. You see that 9, RFS, Mr. 9 Fiction, Real Fan Sports. 9, how you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing, man? How's everybody doing on the panel, too, as well?
Great, fantastic. Happy to be back as always.
Now,
that's good to hear. Good to hear.
As you see under us, but not under us, but as you see on your screen, all the way from Chi-Town, Chicago State of Mind. And man, right now, they are dreaming big in Chi-Town, baby, because they like everything is going on. I even saw an article where they said Caleb Williams can have the same kind of success that C.J. Stroud had this past season. I don't know about that, but we gonna see. Al, how you doing? Come on in.
Man, awesome.
Appreciate you being here, my brother. Let everybody know your platform, man, and everywhere we can find you, my brother.
Man, you can find us, of course. You can find us on Twitter, as well as all these different platforms, man. Hey, Chicago State of Mind Sports. That's where we at. We the place to be. Come and check us out regarding Chicago State of Mind, what's happening in the Chi-Town. So if you were to look at us, man, Chicago State of Mind, you can look us up on Twitter. You can look us up also on IG. Hit us up, man. We're doing pretty good there. And hey, man, we just out here ready to show everybody what we're about in Chicagoland area.
I got you. And this man here, he really don't need no introduction. It's family, baby. All the way from Motown, baby. They were a half away from going to the big game, baby. My brother, our friend, y'all all know from Believe in Lines and Believe Sports Network, Mr. Jack Kavanaugh. Jack, come on in.
How's it going, my friends? It's great to be back with the family as always. Got in for the end of the draft show. It was perfect timing. Finished up. It was my mom's birthday. Finished up right as the Lions made their pick, traded up. Lions crushed the draft. Lions had a big day today, too. Jared Goff, new contract extension. Big day, big week, big month for the Detroit Lions. Gotta love it.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. And look, L, we gonna start with you, man. As we can tell from you, man, reading all the articles on the Bears, man, the mini camp and everything, the rookie mini camp, man, expectations are high with the moves you guys made. The wide receiver room now is all of a sudden loaded. I love the tight end that you guys have. What is the state of the mind of Chi-Town right now?
Man, in Chicago, there were a lot of fans who loved Justin Fields, and of course, there are some who probably did not like Justin Fields, right? As we knew there were some issues and concerns about him throwing the football. However, with Caleb Williams, man, coming on board, #1 draft pick, hey, man, it's a lot of excitement going on for this team here, man. And you talked about it, Dolph, with our supporting cast and the receiver group that he's coming along with. You add Swift to the mix in the backfield. It's like now he has a lot of weapons, man. And if you look at a guy coming on board as a quarterback, as a rookie, hey, man, you got to feel pretty good and confidence in what's built around you. And this is something that Justin Fields didn't quite have, this many weapons. So pretty much Caleb Williams is coming to a very good situation. So we're kind of happy about the kid coming on board and what he's able to do. We know that he can throw that football with some accuracy.
Were there any preparations about Caleb Williams before it was made official? We heard rumors about he possibly didn't want to go to Chicago and things like that. But we know during draft time, they put out all kind of rumors and everything. So how was the mood in Chi-Town when that was being circulated?
When the move in Chicago, it was a mixed feelings around that part of it. It was a lot of speculations around that piece of it. No one knew for sure this is what the guy really was feeling, until Chicago Bears really got to all the minutiae of it, right? Started talking with the kid, getting to know him a little bit better and all that stuff. That's when everything really came out that, hey, he really wants to be in Chicago. And you heard him speak about Chicago, you knew he wanted to be here. So at that point, all the rumors kind of went out the door after that. It's like, okay, this guy really wants to be in Chicago.
Let me ask you this. In the history of the Chicago Bears, how many 4,000-yard passes have the Bears had?
Oh man, I can't really think of it, man. I think if I go back and think about it, how far Jay Cutler came to that. So he's the only guy that really come to mind when we talk about that piece of it. But other quarterbacks, man, haven't really come close to that, man. It's been a struggle.
Cutler never did it. Cutler was under 4. He got hurt. He was close.
Got hurt. Yeah,
but he got hurt.
Yeah,
he was close a couple times, but he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, a proud franchise like the Bears have never, ever had a 4,000-yard passer. I'm talking Jim McMahon, who he won the Super Bowl, but he wasn't the most talented quarterback. He had guts, he had heart, he had charisma, and I think that's what Caleb Williams is bringing along with their wealth of talent. Everyone knows that if Caleb Williams would have came out last year, he still probably would have been the #1 overall selection last season, and people in Carolina would have liked that, but that's for another day. So now with Caleb Williams coming on, and like you say earlier, all this Justin Fields was not blessed with what Caleb Williams has now as he comes into the organization.
Yeah.
My thing is this. Should the fan base and the coaches be careful about the expectations that they put on this young man's shoulders going into his rookie season?
They got to be careful with that part of it. You don't want to get your hopes up too high. He's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes like most quarterbacks do, right? So you can't really expect so much out of him at this point, right? Give him a chance to continue to grow. I mean, if you listen to him, Caleb Williams, speak about, where he's at right now going into minicamp, right? For the rookies, he talked about being a listener, understanding things, trying to grow, right? His leadership, that's one part of it. And then two, you talk about passing the football. You got to get acclimated, man, really with the team and continue to learn. Because as you all know, college and NFL, 2 different leagues, man. These defenders are much better. The D-backs are much better. Everything is much faster. So he has to learn and grow. So you cannot really expect so much out of him his rookie year. Got to let the kid have time to grow. Now, I hate calling him a kid because he's not a kid. He's a grown man, but you got to give him time to grow.
Man, I'm listening to you, man, and I haven't heard Bears fan this excited about a quarterback. Never. Not even Justin Fields, man. This kid, he is the next, because they throw this word around too much, and now we spoke about it. You know, he's the next, what is it? Generational talent. You know, they just throw around. So next year there'll be another generational talent that's coming out the draft. So Trevor Lawrence was spoken of as being that player.
Yep.
If Caleb Williams, after 3 years, has the same success as Trevor Lawrence has had, would that be considered a successful start to his career?
That could be a nice start to his career. However, I think all apples are not created the same, right? You know, everything is not created the same here. So the fact is, looking at this team, what kind of team that he actually has, Caleb Williams we're talking about, man, he can do just as good, right? Matter of fact, he should be even better based upon the weapons he's had, right? You're looking at Keelan Allen, you know, like I said, Swift, all these boys here. I mean, even you got nice tight ends that you talked about, right? Like you got enough weapons to where, in my opinion, you should be able to duplicate some things that CJ Stroud been able to do his first year because the number of weapons you really have, right? And that makes a difference right there. So everything's not created equal, but you got that many weapons like that, you know, in a team that's been working on that offensive line and building it. That's to me, I think that's the ceiling right there. Say, hey, you got to have a season comparable to that. Not saying it got to be exactly like CJ Stroud, but comparable to what he's been able to do.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys started rebuilding the offensive lines about 3 years ago. The right tackle from Tennessee, the left tackle. So to me, I was when word started to circulate about them trading Justin Fields, I personally thought that Justin Fields started to show growth, and I was like, I wouldn't have got rid of Justin Fields. That's how I was personally. I thought that the Bears should have kept Justin Fields. I think the young man's play is on the incline. Again, coming from the college to the NFL, like you said, it's totally different. You won't have those wide open windows. You won't have the best talent on the field just about every week. Ain't no sisters of the pole that you go play every week. Even though the worst team in the NFL can knock you off any given Sunday. So with that being said, what is a realistic, in your mind, a realistic successful season for the Chicago Bears?
The Chicago Bears, and this is no offense to Detroit and what they've been able to do, but the Chicago Bears has to at least win 10 games. They have to at least, at minimum, win 10 games. With this type of roster they currently have, the defense was turning things up last season, getting better, right? You all saw what they were able to do with Montez Sweat. It was a change, right?
That was great.
You got that kind of defense, right? Then you talk about the weapons on offense, and you all hit on the head with Caleb Williams being a generational type of talent, right? That people talk about. You add all those ingredients together, you got to win at least 10 games, man. You got to show that kind of growth right there. So I think that should be realistic for the Chicago Bears. If they win more, great, but they cannot have less than 10 games. You got to win at least 10 games.
And
that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot for a rookie, Caleb Williams. Somebody who struggled towards the end of his college career. I mean, we saw that across all ESPN, all the sports, all the Twitter sports pages. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Caleb Williams. I think he's a little bit overrated, to be honest. I also think he's a small quarterback. He's 6'1". He's not as tall as Justin Fields. He's not as tall as most quarterbacks in the league. I think he's going to struggle in the beginning. He's not as tall as CJ Stroud. But we'll see. I'm still curious of how it's going to work out for the Bears. I'm glad they finally started working on the O-line, something they never really gave Fields a chance to have.
Right.
I think Fields was a good quarterback. He just never had the tools to be successful. You know, so I mean, I hope that they build it right to give Caleb Williams the right opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, and that's what we hope for right there, man. They built this thing right. You know, I thought they were on to something last year. They lost a couple games I thought they should have won even then, you know. And you're right. Justin Fields,
I agree.
And Justin Fields, like you said, when he came back from injury, he looked really good, man, when he came back. And I'm like, it shocked me that the Bears, in a way, went with Caleb Williams, but I knew the situation, right? When you got number one pick, it's like, hey, you see some growth out of Justin Fields, but it is what it is, right? And for me and others who in Chicago who love Justin Fields, I have no problem with keeping him, honestly, because I knew this team, you got Keenan Allen to go along with the squad here, what we are currently working with. It's like, hey, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. I'm like, wait a minute. Cole Kmet as your tight end. Hey, let's see what Justin Fields can do with that unit. And then you also add Swift to it as well. I would love to see what Justin Fields can do with that type of group.
Exactly.
But,
I agree with that one.
Getting the first and Rome,
right?
Rome Doomsday, man. Like,
yeah. Right. You can't forget about Rome. And Rome is another piece, right? Another piece to this element. So now you got 3 wide receivers who can get open, Right. So now what do you do? But the thing is, Justin Fields now has been, traded, of course. So therefore, we don't get a chance to see him in Chicago. But would I have loved to see that? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. But the Bears wanted to go in a different direction, reset the clock on the quarterback position. Had a chance to get a guy who people speak highly of. I know there's some things you saw in college. You're like, some things they can work on, right? They can get better at it. But you also saw some good things with the angles, the way he threw the football too. Like, wait a minute, the way he throwing the football, how he keep his eyes downfield, those are some things that could transition over, right, to the NFL. That kind of a mindset. But, I get why the Bears decided to go the route they wanted to go. I understand it, right? I get it business-wise up.
All right, family. We're being joined by the newest member of the Come On In Sports Network, and as the NFL terms, host of the Hit Zone, the one and only Mr. Jay Hitz. Hitz, how you doing tonight, my brother?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man? Welcome in.
Appreciate it. Dog 17. Glad
What's
to
going
have
on,
you.
my brother?
Appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, man, you family, baby. So, L, let me ask you this, man. You were speaking of the defense, man, and new defensive coordinator Eric Washington. Right now, he's very high on the front seven and the linebackers. He believes that this year Montez Sweat is going to be better compared to last year. He's also he's been praising the linebackers and the defensive backs, which he believes. And listen, he's the coach of that unit. He wants to instill confidence in these young men, in his DB room and this entire defense. He believes that his defensive backs and linebackers are among the best in the entire National Football League. What are your thoughts of that?
Hey, man, look, I understand why. I mean, if you look at some of these guys, the way they played last year, I mean, you saw Tyreek Stevenson was a rookie, but the guy played tough, man. You give him a lot of props on what he been able to do, right? So I understand that part. Kyler Gordon, right? Another year better. It's like, hey, you got some weapons right here. Then you look at your safety with Jaquan Brisker. You're like, wait a minute. And this is the guy that Jack know that had a great game that last game against Detroit. I mean, he had 17 tackles, man, was all over the field. But you got some young studs, man, really in that, in that secondary. So if you think about the Bears, you feel very good at this point because those guys, man, get after it. They play physical.
All right. Well, listen, man, I'm happy for the Bears. Shout out to the Windy City. Shout out to the family that's in Chi-Town. Little sis, father-in-law. Shout out to Chi-Town. But y'all had won the division last year. Y'all didn't go to the NFC Championship last year. Y'all couldn't do it, baby. The Lions were roaring last year, and damn it, they plan on roaring again. Jack, let them know why. All that excitement, all that feeling good about what's on paper will not come to reality because at the end of the 2024 season, once again, your Detroit Lions will reign supreme in the NFC North.
Well, I do have to say, to start things off, I do admire the way the Bears have rebuilt this. They've made the right decisions. You have to respect it. You have to admire it. They've done so many things right along the way, but they're just not there yet. This reminds me a lot of the Lions, not this past season, but the season before, the year where they just missed the playoffs, the year where they were 9-8, beat the Green Bay Packers in the final week of the season to keep the Packers out. we're a borderline playoff team, but they're just not there yet. And I do appreciate what the Bears have done to rebuild the offensive line. It's just not there yet. The defense is going to be aggressive. It's still a young defense, and that's something that the Lions on offense can take advantage of. With Jared Goff newly re-signed, with Amon-Ra St. Brown recently re-signed, extended, with Penei Sewell recently extended as well. So this is a team that's invested in their offense. They've invested in the offensive line once again. Should it be an even better offensive line than they had last year, with Kevin Zeitler replacing an injured Jonah Jackson? And then you've still got St. Brown. You've still got Sam Laporta. You still have all these studs on offense. And then the defense just gets a massive facelift as well. All the cornerbacks, cornerback 1, new guy upgrade, Carlton Davis. Cornerback 2, they get the best cornerback in the draft, Terry and Arnold, replace Cam Sutton. Cornerback 3, Amik Robertson, much better than Kindle Vildor, who they had last year. It's all upgrades across the board.
So, Jack, you spoke about investing. Today, the Lions just invested $212 million, $170 million guaranteed to a man that was cast off, thrown to the side, blamed for the failures of the LA Rams, Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a Hallmark movie. You know, y'all remember them Hallmark movies.
He really is.
Remember them Hallmark movies? But Jared Goff's story is a Hallmark movie. So Hallmark, when you make the movie, hey, remember I said it first. So, Jack, do you like this move locking up Jared Goff for the foreseeable future? And with this commitment, the Lions are saying, hey, we believe that we have our franchise quarterback in place, and he is the guy to lead us for the foreseeable future and get us to the Super Bowl and win that thing.
I absolutely love the move for a bunch of reasons. First of all, I was there for the Rams game when the Lions defeated the Rams in the playoffs, and the stadium was electric. The Jared Goff chants just everywhere. And it was like that on TV for the second game that they had in the playoffs. It's like that at Detroit Red Wings games. It's like that at Detroit Pistons games. So you had to bring Jared Goff back. If you didn't extend him now, you run the risk of him having an MVP type season, which he was borderline last year with how efficient he was throwing the football.
True.
Probably never going to be MVP because they'll give the credit to Ben Johnson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's that type of numbers. So if he has another year like that, the price tag only goes up, and the price tag is just going to keep going up. Dak Prescott has all the leverage in the world right now. He either has to extend his contract so the Cowboys can actually afford anyone, or he's going to hit $60 million in free agency next year. So that's going to go up. Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, their contracts are expiring after this season. That's going to bring the price tag up. Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, they're going to be signing new deals next offseason as well. So that's going to bring the price up. So at face value, you see, okay, well, he's making $53 million a year. He's the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. But by next offseason, a year from now, he's going to be like QB7 in terms of money. And that's not talking about Matthew Stafford, who wants a new deal. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen are a risk to get a contract extension at any point. So it sounds like a lot, but I love this decision for the Detroit Lions because it's a move you had to make. So do it early and force everyone else to pay up.
Right. And a lot of people are going to look at this deal and say, how can you make Jared Goff the second highest paid quarterback in the National Football League? Simple. He's next. That's it. He's next. And like you said, then it's going to come Dak. Dak's going to be next. So, Hitch, what do you think about this move by the Lions? Do you like them showing up Jared Goff?
Well, hey, it's the price of doing business, man. You know, this is the key, though. Once you pay your quarterback, then you see what kind of team you have, because that's when a lot of these guys start walking out. Your team is not as good because the majority of your money is at the quarterback position. You find that out with Philadelphia. Philadelphia was a Super Bowl team until they paid their quarterback. Now you have other players leaving. You have, you look up and your offensive line not as good. Your receivers is not as great. Your defense takes a hit. So now it's really comes down to, you wonder, once you pay your quarterback, your window shorten. You got maybe a year, maybe two to win it all, and then you're going to see a lot of people heading to the exit door. So the line's going to be very interesting, man. Like I say, once you give that quarterback that money, man, and he's the majority of your cap, it's hard to keep your team as strong as it was before you pay your quarterback. So yeah, that's what we got to look at going down the line, just to see how can they adjust to being the team that's got a top paid quarterback on the roster.
And to me, this is where each team's management has to do a very fine job of self-scouting and knowing who are the key pieces to keep and build around. You can't keep everybody. Like you said, you paying Jared Goff this money, you got this year, possibly next year, then people are going to start exiting. But you have to lock up that core. So, Jack, right now, if you were to pick the core players, offense and defense for the Lions, who would be, just if you can, I know I'm putting you on the spot, if you can, offhand, maybe 7 core players right now for the Lions?
All good. You could absolutely put me on the spot with that. And the beauty of it is they already locked up 2 of them. Right tackle, Penei Sewell. Eventually he'll play left tackle when Taylor Decker retires. Doesn't matter. Yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer, and he's with the team for 6 more years. He signs a 4-year contract extension on top of the 2 years remaining. So he's there for 6 years. Amon-Ra St. Brown's there for 5 more years. Those are the 2 cornerstones of your offense. They signed them before they signed Goff, so you've got those 3 intact. Then you've also got Taylor Decker. He's still around at left tackle. Frank Ragnow at center. And then on the defense, it's Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to get his contract extension next year when he's eligible. He can't do it right now because you have to play 3 years before you get the contract extension. But he's going to get that bag eventually as well. And potentially Aleem McNeil, their defensive tackle, could be getting it as well and just continue to bolster that pass rush and reward the guys that they've drafted. And that's the beautiful thing with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is all these cornerstones, all these pillars, other than Jared Goff, who you traded for, they're all self-scouted, self-drafted, homegrown players. Sam Laporta can be in there as well, too. Forgot to mention him because he is a star on the rise.
Oh, man, special player. And now at the linebacker position, I'm forgetting he played for us, but now with the Lions.
Anzalone,
man. Anzalone has gone to Detroit, and he has blossomed. And to me, watching him last year and this past season, is he sort of like the heart of the defense? Because it seems like they feed off his energy.
Yeah, he's that kind of player. I'd say it's him and it's Aiden Hutchinson, whereas Hutchinson with the big plays and the pass rush. Anzalone is kind of more of that leader, but he's also very vocal and he's flying around the field, so he's making plays. And the nice thing with the Detroit Lions is they're not dirty, but they're going to hit you hard and they're going to hit you until they can. So if you're stepping out, you'll see a lot of those guys, they'll kind of start jogging towards the end thinking, oh, well, they're not going to touch me. I'm basically out even though I'm 3 yards away. No, you better run out because they're going to put that lick on you. And Anzalone is one of the guys who's made that a hallmark of this defense. So he's definitely the emotional, the vocal leader on that defense. But they've also got some other linebackers too. Derek Barnes broke out last year. Jack Campbell, the 1st-round pick from last year too. So they're deep at the linebacker position with a whole bunch of guys that can do that. It's just beautiful to have Alex Anzalone as that vocal piece.
All right, and family, as you can see, we're being joined by another host of As the NFL Turns, the one and only, the legendary Coach Rock. Coach, how you doing? You muted, Coach. You muted.
I ain't got but one word, Jack. Can you hear me?
I can't. What's the word? I'm waiting for the word.
Coach, you that excited you can't get your audio right, brother? I done told you about that Walmart Wi-Fi, man. Come on now. We can't hear you, Coach.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah,
we can hear you. We hear you.
Let's go.
Nothing more to say. Nothing more to say,
That
baby.
is
Done deal. NFC champs right here, baby. Right here. Right here. No more to say.
Hold on, Coach. Ain't you the same guy who was
You know the Cowboys ain't going nowhere. You know Chicago.
Hey, watch your mouth now.
No more
Watch
to
your
say.
mouth.
NFC champs, baby.
Well, hold on, Coach.
NFC champs, baby.
But hold on, Jack. 9. Wasn't Coach the one doing the playoff talk? He was in love, but love don't live here no more. Wasn't he in love? Wasn't he in love with that boy Love? You know, he was lovely.
He was a little smitten. He was a little smitten.
He was a little smitten, you know.
he did love, but he was all in on the Lions, though. No, Coach Rock was loyal.
Right, Chuck, baby. Right,
Jack,
Chuck, baby.
he was loyal. He was loyal after Green Bay lost. That's when he was loyal. If Green Bay would have won, he'd have been nothing but love, baby. It'd have been nothing but love.
I wasn't a Packers fan. I just wanted the Packers to beat the Cowboys and everybody they went through. No, I was just happy to see them whip up on who they whipped up on. That's what I was happy for.
Hey, family.
But I'm already announcing the NFC champs, bro.
This is
the NFC champs already. I'm announcing.
That's Coach Rock. We got Jack Kavanaugh for Believe in Lines. We got Al from Chicago State of Mind Sports. We got Jay Hitz of as the NFL Turns in the Come On In Sports Network, and of course our brother Nonfiction, our go-to guy for everything at the Come On In Sports Network. So with that being said, look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Welcome all sports fans. I'm Dolph Jackson, one of the hosts of the Come On In Sports Network, a brand new sports network catered to sports heads like yourselves. Here on the Come On In Sports Network, we'll be covering the latest topics and current sporting news from around the world, such as baseball, football, basketball, and more. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, and come on in. All right, welcome back. This is As the NFL Turns. I'm one of your hosts, Dolph Jackson. Again, we're joined by Chicago State of Mind Sports. One of the hosts, L, is in the house. Big L. I'm going to call him Big L instead of I'm just going to say Big L is in the house. And also from Believe in Lines, our brother, his family, Mr. Jack Kavanaugh. You see Jay Hitz is in the building. Nonfiction, the legendary Coach Rock. Evidently, he ain't have no oatmeal as of yet, that strawberry oatmeal, like he likes to say. But listen, L, what's it going to take for the Chicago Bears? You said it earlier. You think and a lot of people are thinking that in of course in y'all area, y'all region, that the Chicago Bears can make the same jump that the Houston Texans did this past season with Caleb Williams. What gives you so much confidence in this? And and before you answer that, I want to go back to one more thing. The current regime, were they the regime that drafted Justin Fields?
Yeah. This current regime did not draft Justin
Fields. Okay. So it makes a lot of sense now. Okay.
He wasn't the guy drafted by Ryan Poles. Gotcha. So, the previous regime drafted, you know how that go, right?
Right. You want your own guy. Yeah.
There you go.
Right. So possibly do you think your guys can do it, man? Can they? I know you saying 10 wins, man, but it's gonna be hard, man.
Yeah.
For who?
It's gonna be
the Bears.
Man, my prayers go out to that franchise, bro.
Look. This Bears team is a little different. I understand we saw some good things last year. If anyone's watching the Bears, you kind of see the growth over the years, the past couple years, right? And when Justin Fields, we saw his growth. But then you also saw Ryan Poles make some good moves, really, to build this team up, And I think he did a good job with our secondary, drafting very well with that. He got some guys on the O-line as well. But what he did in free agency, you got to give what he did also with trades. You got to give Ryan Poles a lot of credit. Like I said, we're getting Keenan Allen. You got DJ Moore. Now you got Caleb Williams. You got Cole Kmet, who you gave a nice little contract to, but he's a very good tight end. You add Swift, as I talked about earlier. I mean, his team is kind of loaded offensively with some weapons. And then you can't take anything away from the defense and what they've been able to do, as I talked about earlier. But you got to look at that defense and say, with Jalen Johnson, who actually showed us a lot last season and took his game to the next level, he did a very good job, man, at covering guys for sure. You saw that growth there. And then you got Montez Sweat. You look at those two guys and say, hey, look, we got some real studs on that defense. And right now, I think the Bears can take that next step defensively, because you saw the second half of the season, that defense did get better last year. And I think it's going to get even better this year. So I got a lot of hope from that standpoint. Now, if it's 10 wins, great, but I know other teams are getting better as well. But I do see this Bears team on the rise.
Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are the Bears planning on making that a dome stadium anytime soon?
Well, as you know, when it comes out of the dome, they trying to get a dome. Of course, that's part of the process. They've been out there talking about having one downtown Chicago. Currently right next to where it's at right now. They talked about Arlington Heights. That's been all over the talk, but lately it's been more about staying in the dome at Chicago. But as you know, nothing has really came into fruition that's going to happen right away. That's going to take some time. Negotiations are still going on. You know how that goes. But that is the talk a lot about getting a stadium here in Chicago.
Because the reason I asked that, man, is it's known as the Windy City, and when you think about the Bears franchise, it's one of the few franchises that you think of a defensive player when you see the total face of a franchise. You never think, most franchises you think as the franchise is the quarterback as the face. And I think with it being the Windy City, it's hard for quarterbacks. It's just my opinion. You could rebut it or say I'm off my rocker here. But I feel like that it's hard for quarterbacks to succeed in that city, especially when they get in the wintertime, deep in the winter, and that wind is humming. And being a passer is hard in those kind of conditions. Even kickers don't do as well as in Chicago. So I feel like if they turn it into a dome at some point, I feel like you have a better quarterback play. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, that could be the way. Honestly, that could also enhance the play of the quarterback in that setting, because you're right. The ball, the wind, all that stuff could play a factor, And I know Green Bay would probably say something similar, like, look how they play. But the thing is, culturally, the Chicago Bears have always been a running football team, culturally, right? And you talk about changing that culture with now having a team that throws the football more so than probably run, right? And that's been the change, because as you know, a lot of these other franchises like Green Bay, Detroit, these teams have gotten quarterbacks, and the Bears have not been able to do that. And again, it's not just about who we select, it's also about what's been around these quarterbacks, right? The offensive line, the weapons, all these different things. We've drafted wide receivers who couldn't stay healthy. I mean, you all may remember that as well. But the thing is, this team has now decided to go in a different direction. And I know Ryan Poles is, in my opinion, doing a very good job at trying to change that culture. And I think that's the problem that we've been faced with over the years of a team that's culturally been basically built upon running the football.
And you speak about drafting receivers that are hurt. So right now, Rome Odunze is hurt. Is it anything? I think it's his hamstring, if I'm not mistaken, L. So
Keenan Allen taught him.
Yeah. So is this a big deal? Is this something he was dealing with prior to camp, rookie mini camp, or is this something that happened during the rookie mini camp?
This is something, from my understanding, that happened during a rookie mini camp. It's pretty much more of a precautionary thing, right? They want to make sure that, hey, we don't want to reactivate anything or make it worse. So had this been a regular season that's going on, they'd probably be playing. But right now, it's all precautionary.
Okay. And
so I have a
go ahead, Coach.
I have a question. I'm gonna call you Lil Al till you stand big on my question, then I call you Big Al. So the first part of my question is, Lil Al, is what did you see that Bears, the organization, the fans, you saw that Caleb Williams would be better than Justin Fields when Justin Fields, I don't know how many offensive coordinators he had no offensive line, he just got receivers. So the first part of the question is, what did y'all see in Caleb Williams? Because I'm confused as hell what you saw in him, first of all, to make him the number one pick, that you moved on from Justin Fields for Caleb Williams. Then come back to the second part of you telling me Caleb Williams is better than Jaden Daniels?
what I can say on that note on both of your questions regarding that piece of it is you look at Caleb Williams, that's a guy we saw 2 years ago. I mean, he showed up a lot in college. I mean, you talk about throwing the football with accuracy. You're talking about keeping your eyes down the field. You're talking about hitting your receivers in stride. These are things that we see Justin Fields struggle with, with the Chicago Bears, and he has some struggles in accuracy and throwing the football. But you look at Caleb Williams, some of those type of throws that Justin Fields wasn't able to make. We're looking at Caleb Williams saying, hey, this is a guy who possibly can make those throws, right? If you talk about, those
Not
short
so
throws.
fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. I was waiting for you to say that.
Let me finish.
What signature win is Caleb Williams got? Yeah, he put the big numbers up against the Arizona States. And what signature win does he have in college over a ranked team?
Texas.
In the 2 years you saw him.
He beat Texas. Came back on us.
Well, you can say Texas.
Go ahead.
You can say Texas is one of them. I can't think of many of them really. What he did, because he saw a lot of games. Because you saw him take some L's. USC did took some L's. But the thing is, you gotta look at the fact when you talk about wins and losses. You gotta look at also how did he perform in those type of environments, right? You can't put it off all on the quarterback when you talk about wins and losses. You gotta look and see, did the quarterback make mistakes to ruin it? Or did, another team would just happen to be so much better than that team, right? So these are all factors that come to play with any quarterback, right? Or any team. So it's not just all on Caleb wins when we talk about wins and losses. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I just didn't see it. I really think that was the biggest mistake Chicago made, moving on from Justin Fields to Caleb Williams. I really think y'all should have addressed the line and took the tackle from Notre Dame and then came back and took the receiver. But Caleb Williams, man, I'm praying for you on that. And I hope I'm wrong. But I think in 4 years, man, you're gonna be looking for another quarterback.
What I will say to that, Coach Rock, on that note you're saying, the one thing I will give credit to the Chicago Bears is drafting Caleb Williams. They are trying to set him up for success. Better they did for, Justin Fields. Well, you and I just talked about, how tough it was for Justin Fields when he came on board. It was a roller coaster, different regime, everything, different coordinator, different coach, all that stuff. So look at Caleb Williams. He got far more than what Justin Fields had. So therefore, he is set up for success. Now, if it doesn't work out, hey, it is what it is, man. But the thing is, we cannot say that, hey, he didn't have enough to work with to be successful.
True.
Well, I'm just enjoying season 6 of Shy, bro. I'm praying for the Bears. But that's the only thing I'm in the city. I'm watching right now is Shy. Season 6, I'm praying for the Bears, man. I'm telling you, I'm praying. I'm at the altar for y'all. Because you said 10 wins, I got you with 5.
Oh,
5 wins? Okay, we'll see. I don't think we won 5. Well, we win last year. I don't think it was five games. But the thing is, I think this team is on a different trajectory than how it was last year. I just see much more weapons than what this team had last year. So I may see it a little differently than you, but you know what? It is what it is, man. Hey, you could be right. I could be right.
Hey, Coach. L got some backup coming in here because he tired of hearing you talk that you talking. I'm talking about Brian Teague is about to touch it right now.
Come on in. I ain't had no oatmeal.
Brian, how you doing? Come on in. What's going on, Brian?
Man, I am good, man. Thanks for having me on. And I'm sorry about being a little bit late in here.
Man, you're right on time, brother. You're right on time.
You on time for real.
Hey, Al, I heard you over there piping up, man. I'm like, shoot, what's up, man?
hey, man, Coach Rock in here, man, getting on our boy Caleb Williams, man.
What do you got to say about Caleb?
Oh, Coach Rock, you got the flow.
Oh, I appreciate that, baby. I love this moment. The thing I was saying, Brian, first of all, good afternoon, my brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, my man.
All right, good. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of this sport.
Yes, sir.
My thing is, what I was asking him, I just didn't see why or what you guys saw or see so much in Caleb Williams compared to when you had Fields there. I think Fields he had too many. The kid just was, to me, set up for failure from the day he got into Chicago. It was too many offensive coordinators. He didn't have a line to work with. He didn't have receivers. You just like really getting receivers. And then it was like, boom, now he's gone. And all y'all running around here with this Caleb Williams. And I just didn't see it in college with Caleb Williams. I saw him running around, just making plays, throwing the ball. I just didn't see. I don't see it in him. And I'm not wishing no bad luck on the kid. I wish him all the success in the world as your quarterback. But I just don't see it. To me, I see a better quarterback in Jaden Daniels than I saw in him. But it's like in Chicago, it's like y'all believe like this gonna be the wonder kid. And I really think he gonna turn into peanut butter and jelly. Me, you know what I'm saying? I don't see it in him. I don't see it. And again, I wish no bad luck on this kid, man. I'm pulling for all these kids to be successful and they, their next movement. But Caleb Williams, I watched him in big games in college, and he looked like spam in the big game. He was just slinging the ball and intercepts, and the big games, his chest was out, the big numbers, but signature wins, he has none. And I just didn't see it in him. I don't, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but man, I think in 3 years, I think y'all gonna be set up in the next 2 or 3 years in the top 3 for the draft picks. I don't see this team with Caleb Williams being successful like that. I don't.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm first by saying I'm sure my brother Al has already talked to you about. We were pro Justin Fields guys anyway the whole time. Mm-hmm. So for us, it took some convincing for us to even come around to the whole Caleb Williams idea. For me personally, I think that Justin Fields was given a bad set of circumstances. Matt Nagy is your offensive coordinator starting out as a rookie. You're working with Nick Foles. I mean, come on, man. I don't have to go into any more details about that, right? Caleb Williams has no excuses. He has the support system around him, great offensive coordinator, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, right? DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. I mean, we even got a stud running back in the mix now. So for me personally, I expect for Caleb Williams to come in here and get the job done because there's no excuses. What excuses do you have? They've eliminated any excuse that he can have as a rookie to have success. So for me, that's why I'm high on him. I'm not worried about what he did against top 25 teams in college. That wasn't in Chicago. In Chicago, I think they have him set up to succeed, and that's what I'm here for.
Now, Coach Rock, the only difference between Brian Teague is that he mentioned that dude named Matt Nagy. I tried to avoid saying his name. But Brian is definitely right about that piece of it, man, about how things went with Justin Fields and Matt Nagy. It was just a tough situation overall for the quarterback.
And speaking of continue on the Bears, and then we got to get to the lines. Injuries, man. Pronounce this kid's last name before I butcher it. I guess I ain't the only one, huh?
I'm
72.
Amagaji.
Yeah.
Amagaji. Okay, Amagaji. What's this kid's injury? I heard him speak, and it's almost like he's not sure, he's not in agreement with the medical staff. What are they saying is going on with this young man right now?
So I was at the mini camp over the weekend, and we weren't given any sort of concrete information on him, but I will agree with you. I do think that he and the medical staff are not on the same page, which for me is concerning, right? Because he's got a pre-existing injury, and obviously our team has kind of put their hands on him here. And like I said, it seems like there's a lot of really mystery going around what's really going on with him. I observed him not really doing much over the weekend.
Okay. Now, speaking of rookie minicamp, what rookies caught your eye?
So honestly, man, I liked what I saw from Keith Randolph. He's one of the UDFAs. He's a guy that we covered at the Senior Bowl. Yes, sir. And I think he's got an outside shot of making the roster. I mean, of course, everybody's going to talk about Caleb. Everybody's going to talk about Rome, who actually sat out Saturday with hamstring concerns, which I was actually like, man, they need to get him on some sort of a stretching program. I mean, after 1 day of practice, brother, you are already having issues with your hamstring. I'm like, come on now. We ain't got time for that. So that concerned me. You guys are going to laugh at me, but the punter, our 4th-round draft pick from Iowa, that kid was booming the football all over the field. And that's, to me, was one of the more underrated picks in the draft. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people had criticism for Poles for making that pick, but if anybody watched Big Ten football, that punter was offensive MVP for Iowa. And I think he's going to be a stud here in Chicago.
Yeah, people don't appreciate special teams until they get a special team blunder. A shank punt, a game-winning missed field goal, missed tackle that allows a kickoff or punt to go back for a touchdown. Then people start to understand the significance and the importance of special teams. Special teams can win you a game, and special teams can definitely lose you a game. So listen, special teams is one of the more important but overlooked because it's not glamorous. You can't really, pick a punter in fantasy football. You're okay with a kicker, but a punter, I have no idea how the hell you even score a punter. Guess how many times he downs the ball inside the 20? You get 3. Maybe I gave somebody an idea. But Jack, come.
So Brian, wait, one more question before you go.
What?
This is to Brian and Al. What about the kid that in the 5th round, Austin Booker? How did he look? The edge rusher from Kansas.
So you know how it is with the mini camps, man. It's like a glorified walkthrough. So I really didn't really get much there, but I would say, man, I love the pick. That was one of those ones where Ryan Poles went in and got a pick that everybody, all the Bears fans thought he was done for the day when he grabbed the punter. And he was like, not so fast, you know what I mean? Traded up into that 5th round. So I think for me personally, we needed an edge rusher. I wish we'd have got one earlier, but this kid was one. Okay. He was on my radar, and I'm glad that he went and got him. So I'm really interested to see how he looks in the OTAs as they come up.
Yeah, he's very productive at Kansas, man. Disruptive player, man. High motor. I think that was also a good selection. All right, Jack. One of your rookies. Give us a little rundown on how he looked this weekend.
Terrian Arnold, he got his first interception in practice, so that looked absolutely beautiful. The man is just so fluid. So's Enos Rakestraw, though. They're both just fluid movers. They can just stick in man coverage, which is what they've wanted to do all along. You guys know it. Aaron Glenn wants to play that man-to-man defense. Right. That's what they were doing for years with the New Orleans Saints. He's wanted to do it with the Detroit Lions. He just didn't have the horses to do it. Now he gets these two guys that just stick on receivers and just they got the 2 best cornerbacks in the SEC. I mean, what more can you say? 2 best cornerbacks in the SEC. Outside of that, who would you rather have in the SEC?
But Jack, y'all had a steal.
I got Kool-Aid.
Okay,
y'all had a steal, Jack, in that 6th round. Y'all had a steal, Jack, in that 6th round from LSU.
Wingo.
That was another great pick. So was Mahogany. Yes. Both of their it was crazy. They had such a great start. First, second round, they get the 2 corners, which I love. 4th round, they doubled up in the 4th round. They took an offensive tackle out of British Columbia, but the guy's 6'8". The guy's 340 pounds and runs a sub 540. So you get it. They also take a running back safety special teamer out of Utah. That felt like a little more, I mean, they like the player. But then they go back to Mekhi Wingo with Christian, goodness gracious, Christian Mahogany. Those guys, I'm not saying they're going to be starters in year 1 or ever going to be starters, but I do think Mekhi Wingo from day 1 is going to be a rotational piece on this offensive line. Even if it's 10, 15 snaps to start the season, he's going to be getting those snaps. And I, like Coach Rock said, that was an absolute steal of a pick.
Jack, let's talk about your coach. Again, love Dan Campbell. But again, I cannot let it go. I'm sure Lion fans cannot let it go. And he came out and he said, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. I'll make the same call. Coach Line, you will not make the same call if you had to do it all over again. In your estimate, where does Dan Campbell have to improve as a head coach?
See, I think for them, it's just their identity. So I know we all wish that they had made different decisions, but that's who Dan Campbell is. He believes in his team. He's got balls of steel. He's not just going to kick the field goal or punt just because he should do it all the time. And it is going to bite them. But at the same time, they're going to win games because of it. There were multiple games last season where I would have made a different decision, especially against the Chargers, but the decision Dan Campbell made to be aggressive ends up winning them the game. It's the high risk, high reward lifestyle. And I would love to see Dan Campbell be a little bit more rational sometimes. I just don't expect it. It is who he is. And if you ask someone to be what they're not, you're setting them up for failure.
But to me, you got to read the room. All right, in the regular season against the Chargers, that's fine. We plan to go to Super Bowl, the ultimate goal. Sometimes you got to step back and you got to really rationalize it. Like, is this the right time to do this in this scenario? I just don't think it was the right time, man.
No, I agree with you completely. I completely 100% agree. But at the end of the day, Dan Campbell's probably thinking, hey, if Josh Reynolds catches that, the energy on the sideline's crazy, and that propels us to a victory. So it's not decisions I would make, but he's just so aggressive. The cojones on him. It just is who he is, and you have to learn to live with it, because otherwise you're just going to be infuriated every week.
Gotcha. So, Jack, when is the mandatory mini camp for the Lions schedule?
I'm not sure when the mandatory mini camp is, actually. I know it'll be in a couple of weeks. They've got their rookie mini camp going on right now. I think Lions have voluntary OTAs before mandatory mini camp. Sometimes some teams do it backwards. I'm not really sure, but it'll be within the next couple of weeks. They'll have everyone reporting, and they've already got guys there. They've got guys working out. Amon-Ra St. Brown's in the building. He's working out with these rookies. He obviously can't practice with them because that's not allowed, but he's out there catching passes from the jugs machine, and a lot of these guys are back early just because they want to be.
All right. Al Brown, let me ask you about a former Chicago Bear, Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother. What kind of player was he?
So the thing with Equanimous that I enjoyed when he was in Chicago was just the job he did as a blocker. Obviously, he wasn't involved much as a receiver like he was at Notre Dame, but he knew the offense. I mean, with his time with the Packers, and obviously with Luke Getty and him having, that chemistry with one another, it was a perfect, I thought, addition to the wide receiver room, because he was able to train up the other wide receivers within the team. And for me, I think it's going to be a loss, because I really liked what he brought to the locker room, and I think the players in the wide receiver room, they definitely enjoyed playing with him as well.
All right. Well, look, I'm about to start something right now. We got Lions and we got Bears up here. I'm about to start something right now. We about to have some fun. Right now. Jack, let them know why. Once again, all this Caleb Williams offseason on paper hype will not mean a damn thing when the regular season comes, because simple and plain, the Lions are just better than the Bears. Am I right?
You are absolutely right. That's why they have the win total they do according to Vegas. That's why everyone has them in their top 5-6 teams in their power rankings. And that's why the Lions won the division last year, and they've just gotten better. They've upgraded the offensive line. It'll be another year of Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs improving. They've got their studs back in St. Brown and Penei Sewell, and they upgraded the defense, which is what they desperately needed to do. While I do love what the Chicago Bears have done this offseason, I do love what they've been building over the past several offseasons with this roster. It's just too early. They're not there yet. The offensive line still needs a little bit of work, and the Lions are just better than the Bears are right now. I'm sorry, my friends, but that's just how it is right now.
All right.
And Jack,
Ron, hold on, Coach. I'm throwing something.
Jack, I have a question. Coach
about to ask for a jersey, but go ahead, Coach. Go ahead and ask about the jersey.
When they go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Go ahead, Coach.
Say that again. This year, I got them going 14-2, 15-14-2. But my thing is, one person that does not get a lot of credit on that coaching staff of the Lions is Coach Williams, Terrell Williams, the D-line coach, man. He does a great job, and he does not get the credit that he deserves at all.
Huge addition from the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have just had monsters for so many years, and it was always that team where the defense isn't as good as it is in real life on paper, but then you got Terrell Williams bringing out the goods from those guys. I really think he can do the same with the Lions.
Yeah. And what you said, dog? What's your question?
No, I'm about to start something, because it's time for the rebuttal. I need L. I need Brian. Chi-Town is watching. I need you to let Jack know, let Motown know, let the Cheeseheads know why the Chicago Bears are going to have the same 1 year turnaround, just like they did in Houston, Texas, because they got a generational talent, the best skilled quarterback in the history of the franchise, and Caleb Williams. Why will the Bears surpass the Detroit Lions as NFC North champions? Let's go, baby.
Because they're on Paramount with Shy season 6.
That was funny. So, what I'm going to say to my brother Jack, I definitely appreciate what the Lions have become in the division, but I feel like the Lions fan base, they forget for a very long time that they were the laughingstock of the NFC North. But I'm happy that things have turned around because you guys have built something up really, really nice. Secondly,
He playing dirty. He playing dirty. He hitting under the belt. Oh, he hitting under the belt.
Hey, this shot time over here. We talk that talk.
Oh, you see that he playing dirty. Oh, but not so fast.
Secondly,
it's not gonna happen.
Jared Goff is the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
So my thing is, we can't forget about that little part. Y'all got some nice toys surrounding him, but he is who he is. And if you're betting your, house on that guy, that house gone, baby. It's gone.
Hey, Brian and Al, y'all come on down to New Orleans, man, for the Super Bowl. I'm gonna bring y'all down. Watch the Lions play Kansas City, bro. Y'all some gumbo and stuff. Y'all come on down.
We can watch it, but we won't be watching the Lions in there. We won't be watching the Lions in there.
Not at all.
You'll be talking about Taylor Swift and all that kind of stuff.
Coach Rock, Coach Bird, man. Coach Rock, my fault.
What you say? Yes, sir.
I want you and Jack know one thing, though. That's one thing I want to point out regarding, Detroit Lions. Let's not act like they just been dominating the Chicago Bears. Last year we saw they went 1-1, so it wasn't like they just wiped us completely out, So I just want to throw that out there right there. I understand they did their thing and handled business, got some playoffs and all that stuff, but when they faced the Bears, it wasn't that simple. It wasn't no cupcake walk through the Chicago Bears. Even with the team, I got
one thing to say on that. What have you done for me lately?
This season's different, right? This season, you got to keep that same energy about Detroit, though, right? Last year was last year. Understand?
Man, look, y'all want what y'all want? Y'all want Brothers Chicken? You want some gumbo? You want some catfish? What y'all want when y'all come down and watch the Super Bowl? Y'all just let me know. We're gonna eat good. We're gonna eat good, bro.
Hey, take me to get some oysters, bro.
You got that. We'll go to Dean and Seafood. You got that. I got you.
Go get them smoked oysters. Give them them smoked oysters, coach.
Hey man,
where
the catfish at, man?
Man, it's New Orleans, baby. Catfish on every corner store.
That's what I was gonna say. Take me on the
corner. Got catfish.
Yeah. I'm gonna take them up everywhere, baby. Yeah, everywhere. Well, look, family, it's been a great show. We want to thank El and Brian from Chicago State of Mind Sports for joining us, and of course our brother, friend, family member from BLEAV in Lions, Mr. Jack Kavanaugh. I'm Dov Jackson. You see that clown next to me? Hold up.
Oh,
that's Coach Rock.
He's a dog. He is a dog.
Hey, dog.
Tonight was the first official show of our newest member. He is the host of Come On In Cowboys, and he also is the host of the Hit Zone, the one and only Mr. J Hits. Hits, my brother, thank you for being here. And of course, my brother from Real Fan Sports, the one and only Mr. Nonfiction. He's real, he's not fake. But before we get out of here,
sir.
Jack, please let everyone know where they can find you in every platform that you're on.
You can find me everywhere at Javanaugh87. You can find me on the BLEAV in Lions podcast, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you subscribe to BLEAV in Lions. Thank you so much for having me back. Always a pleasure being with the family.
Jack, let me know when you get down there for the Super Bowl, man, so we go have us a drink and eat. Now, let me know when you coming, Jack.
Go see the Lions in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I love it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And also, Brian, L, please let everybody know, my brothers, how they can find you, all the social platforms you're on.
Yeah, so we are at Chicago State of Mind Sports at Chi State of Mind. That's pretty much simple for everybody. And we're on that app. I mean, we're on that at every platform we're on, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the above. And I want to give one just little quick message to one of our line podcasters that we have on our show, Malcolm Hart. Malcolm, the Bears, they coming for you. One message.
Yeah, Jared, the Lions did go big on Jared Goff today. $212 million, $170 million guaranteed. Jared Goff will be the leader of the Detroit Lions until he retires. R.I.P. You say R.I.P.
Yeah.
Well, listen, family, it's been a great show. And listen, Al, Brian, man, y'all family, man. Listen, I met these brothers at the Senior Bowl, man. We hit it off, man. Man, I appreciate all the advice you guys gave me, man. And you guys are welcome here anytime, man. Anytime.
Most definitely.
Anytime, brother. Love having you here, man. And listen, man, I saw y'all work too, man, covering the WNBA. Before I let you guys go out here, what is your thought about the WNBA going with the charter? Is it charter flights now?
Yeah, but it's only for two franchises right now. It's the Lynx and the Fever.
So they only gonna do it for two franchises.
So not even the champions got the charter? That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So actually, that's why I was late jumping on. I was on a town hall, because we covered it, obviously the WNBA, and players they hot because it's not right.
Hey,
you should announce that.
Brian,
now for me, coach.
Take care to buy you Barbie here. Make sure y'all take care to buy you Barbie.
Yes.
Hey, you know what, sir? We got her, but she the Chi-Town Barbie now. But we got her. That's a queen, right? That's a queen right there, man. She is the best. Like I've had one-on-one interviews with her, man. She is great. I love talking and working with her.
Man, her and Cadoza on the same team. How the hell that happened?
Hey, the summer gonna be nice out here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a good summer.
Because right now they're the best basketball team in the city of Detroit. Because I don't know what the hell going on with the Bulls.
We don't have enough time to talk about the issues of the Chicago Bulls.
You know what? We're gonna have another show, man. I'm gonna have y'all back on, man. We're gonna talk basketball, man. We're gonna talk basketball.
We with it.
All right, family. Hey, we want to thank everybody for joining us. This is the Come On In Sports Network. Everybody have a good night. Until next time.
Love don't live here anymore. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. You got that ass whooping Frisco.
Detroit, baby. Love don't live here anymore.
Now you talking about I'm gone, man. You a bad way.
Determined your fate, I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear. Don't die if you try. You just might.